Hey guys, welcome again to Executive Coaching Relationship, and how a great relationship where you can help them to work better is going to make you a great coach for the rest of your life. Whether you work in the corporate world, or you're hanging your own shingle out somewhere, or whether you're doing this in your own company or a nonprofit or a church, these principles work. So let's get right to it. Here's the question. The author of the book Destined to Lead makes the case for shifting from executive coach to another term, trusted advisor, from executive coach to trusted advisor. What are some principles that you found to help this to occur? Great question. And you do want to have trusted advisor status because an executive coach has been generally hired for a certain task, for a certain season, for a certain person, very kind of a very specific scope. But when you become a trusted advisor, you kind of become the go-to person. I learned this from a friend of mine who was an attorney of very, very wealthy people. We talked about his business. He told me this many years ago. He said, I'm their one stop. He said, people at the level of my clients, they don't want to call 4 different attorneys one for estate, and one for tax, and one for civil, and one for, I forget what the other ones were, family. He said, they want to make one phone call in the legal world, and they call me. And I can do a lot of things, but the things I can't do, I know who the person is, and I'll get them to call them. He says, they stay with me forever because they trust what I do, and they also trust who I refer to. He says, I've kept these people for like years and years and years and years. Because now you're the person that kind of go, oh, life is busy, but they always bring me good results. And I've taken that, basically I use that model in the coaching that I use with my own personal coaching clients, is keep the family healthy, keep you healthy, keep your business healthy, keep your self-care healthy, keep your marriage healthy, all that stuff. Since I'm holistic, they call me about everything. And when we have our phone calls or our flyover meetings, I'll say before we do that, what do you want to work on? And they'll come up with all kinds of stuff. I need a strategy issue because we've got some things going in the business. Great. Or we got a kid that's kind of going upside down. She's 13 now. We've got a problem. And that's trusted advisor status. And it's just great because you do help them at a level they can't get help with before, or they had to, divide it up with a bunch of people. And also, you can help them more efficiently because you know all those other aspects of their life. It's not like compartmentalized. It's very, very synthetic. So, second piece of this is, no surprise here, do what you were hired for very well. Do what you were hired for very well within the scope. These guys are always looking at how's it going? Is it bringing bottom line? If bottom line improvements. If they find out, well, the coach is their best friend and they just love the coach, is their behavior changing? No, but they just love that person. You're out the door. They don't need another best friend. That coachee doesn't need another best friend. So you're working with the coachee and their issues and their character, but you're also working for that sponsor. We talked about it in another training. And they've got to see changes. Hey, they're working harder. They're working better. That attitude's going away. A better attitude's coming in. So you do a really good job within the scope because everybody's looking for a trusted advisor. Everybody wants a Yoda figure or a Gandalf figure, or choose your metaphor. Everybody wants that, but they just kind of have to go through a bunch to find that. Another thing that helps is you be the person who is the advocate for the why. I'm a big Simon Sinek fan of Power of Why. So you to be the person, before you come up with a solution, say, let's understand more about it. I found that anxiety can make you come up with a solution before you're ready. And if you just tamp down your anxiety of having to have an answer, you keep asking the right questions. I think Sinek says it's 4 or 5 levels. I think it's probably more than that. But at some level, you'll give them the right answer. And they'll kind of go, that's what I needed. They're so used to formulaic, quick answers for things. It's like somebody used to say the difference between a coach and a therapist is if you're driving up to, I'm in Southern California, right? So you're driving up, trying to find Staples Center to go watch some basketball, and you get lost, and you go to see a coach who's standing on the corner, and you say, hey, I need to go to Staples Center. He'll say, well, take a left and 2 rights, and then you're 100 feet down. You ask the same question to a therapist. Therapists will say, how long have you lived in LA? 23 years. Huh. Why don't you know that? Now, to me, That's a lot better question than giving the answers here, right? So you're a coach/therapist. You're not a therapist, but you're really trained holistically in terms of character structure and emotions and relationships. So you're the one, before you come up with the, well, don't do that again, or try this. Why is that? You just can't overdo the why. Remember my theory, though, at the end of every session, there's got to be an assignment with a solution. But more why than not. That helps you become a trusted advisor because you're helping them think. And the people who want to be really successful don't want some formula of do these three things and have a quiet time and work hard and be the first in and last out, and everybody knows that. That's kind of like what the Bible calls milk. You want to give them meat, and the meat comes from the why. Show interest in the organization as a whole. Ask questions about not just, maybe you're in the marketing department, but ask questions about how sales is going and finance is going and how your culture is going and how HR is going. But when you start asking questions, people, the organization is their baby, and they're really interested, and they want somebody that gives them, that's as interested in they are. So ask questions which are helping you to solve that, your specific sphere issue. Ask questions that show I'm interested in a broader issue, because they might go, well, Ralph asked me that question. I hadn't thought about placing him over there with my executive team. That could be a good idea. That came from you because you're interested. And having solutions of all the types we train you in: character solutions, culture solutions, strategic solutions, operation solutions, system solutions. Have solutions to everything so they depend on you. I don't mean dependency in some regressive way. I mean dependency because they need some reliable person. The better the solutions you are, and they work, you don't have to be batting 1,000, but you've got to be batting pretty good, and they work, makes them trust you more. Remember, God made them, He made their neurology to look for somebody that knows something they don't, because we all have this part of us that says, I can't do it all myself. I need somebody to help me think clearly about myself and come up with solutions. The more you ally with that, the better it is. That's how it works. So trusted advisor is a great way to go. It's a great career, and people will be enormously grateful and refer to you on the golf course or at church that this person, they're a little bit unorthodox. They don't come up with formulaic solutions, but we're a better company because we've got our people working harder and they're working better together. You know what else? I'm healthier because of, Sally the coach. All right, that's how it works. Okay, have a good class.